Thank you. Good morning. Let me see if you're excited. Are you excited? I don't know. How about this side? Are you excited here? Okay, hold that thought, okay? How about here? Are you excited? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, hold that for a second. How about this side? Are you excited? It's a tie. Okay. Thank you. Well, you are excited. And it's really, for me, it's wonderful to be back in Australia. I still remember my very first trip here 7 years ago. It was a little different then. How many of you remember the cruise ship? You remember? You know, it's like I should have known. You know, I was going to be in a place where you can't run, you can't hide. And where's George? So remember, George sat way back in the room and offered us. But anyways, it's great to be here. I love this picture here, and I want to talk about that for a second. It's our 20th anniversary. Where's that applause sign? That's unbelievable. In our industry, thousands of companies come around, and very few actually achieve that milestone, 20th anniversary. But you know what? You feel like it's a 20th anniversary, but it's like we're a startup, really, with 20 years of experience. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I think you're going to appreciate that, and I think you're going to understand that as well with me. The other thing is, what's behind that 28-year picture? The Wall of China. We're about to do something momentous in that 20th anniversary. And I mean, a lot of people were getting very emotional in the back with the M5M, you know, the Mexico video. Some of you, I could see your eyes were leaking a little bit because we're doing something significant, aren't we? M5M is for real. M5M is something that we have accepted as our identity because all of us have to do something for a living, and we get to do this for a living. We get to do something that changes our lives, that changes our world, but changes the world at the same time. And you know, some months back when we met Jason Lester, who's the man who's going to run the Wall of China in 100 days. Imagine it's a marathon a day for 100 days in a row. And it's called the M5M China Run, which really for us meant bringing this mission on a global scale. Because, you know, this goal of 5 million children says easy, right? It's easy. It rolls off your lips pretty easy. But as Vincent said earlier, it's a big goal. And it's going to require some big things to make that happen. Well, South Africa is going to take care of 1 million. Anybody for the other millions? Yes? You know, so they have a 2K PD for South Africa, but for the world, it's a 10K PD. Means we're going to have to raise 10,000 new presidentials in the next few years to achieve that goal. And I believe we will, because it's the right thing to do, isn't it? Right? But you know, how about if we could just bring that message on a global stage, and so that M5M becomes synonymous with some of the other things that people, you know, usually understand and know. And let's make it a global brand. Let's make it something that the world can identify with, because we need the world to help us do this. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal, as we call it. But it's a good goal. It's the right thing to do, and it's something we are committed to. Before I start, I'm realizing I'm the only thing between you and lunch. That's not a good position. That's not a good position to be in. I don't know how I got the short straw here. But before I start, first of all, I want to congratulate all of the awards winners. If you're here, stand up. If those of you that got celebrated yesterday, honored with an award yesterday, stand up. Give them a big hand. Thank you. Thank you for your commitment. You know, they said I was going to talk about the future of Mannatech, but the future of Mannatech is those of you who are here, and especially those of you who are distinguishing yourselves in your efforts and obviously achieving some of these levels. The other thing that I wanted to also acknowledge before I start is for the last couple of days, how many of you know there was things going on before you got here? Right? You knew that? And there's a small group of people. We call it it's a presidential roundtable, or we call it the PD mastermind. And these are the people who are sitting around the table and really working with us to create the future of Mannatech in Australasia. So those of you who were in that room for 2 days, that gave 2 days of your life to really work on the future of all of us, stand up and let's honor you as well. Thank you very much. I'm really impressed and I'm really honored to be able to work with all of you guys. I think there were 2 very productive days. How do you feel about it, right? I think I felt a sense, a renewed sense of hope and optimism, and we're going to get this thing done, right? I mean, that's how I felt for those 2 days, and I think we're conveying that message to the rest of you through the rest of this, the next couple of days. Also, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that Mandy Morelli and her team, the corporate staff, let's give them a big hand as well. They've done a wonderful job putting all of this together, and everything has been world class. I mean, all the small details, but all those things count. They all come together. You know, everybody's looking for the home runs, but you know what? Winning is not about just the home runs. Well, I don't know if you guys do home runs here. You do. Yeah, you do the what was that called? The centuries? You score 100, right? Yeah, okay. Well, to score 100, right? But that's not what life is all about. Life is all about those small hits, right? It's a series of small hits, and I really am impressed with the staff here, and Mandy and her team, and Betty and the rest, and all the attention to detail. They're committed to excellence, and it shows in everything that they do, so I really appreciate that. And also, we had a chance to introduce our new president for Europe, Africa, Middle East, and Australasia, Mr. Chris Simons, who's here with us over there. So I'm really excited about having him join our team here in Australasia, because someone I've been with for 20-some years all over the world. I know his work ethic. I know his commitment as well to excellence and getting things done. So we're really poised for some big things. Now, obviously, the catalyst, we brought in, when you're doing a chemical experiment, at some point, when you add a catalyst, that's what explodes the whole mix, right? And that's Vincent and Gary. What an awesome, young, group of young people there that, we have a new saying. It's called the Mannatech MIG, Mannatech Young Generation, and they really are incredible ambassadors for that young generation. How many of you are really excited about all these young people that are going to come and join us in this mission with us? Because that's the future. Our business, really, the future of our business is going to be these young people who really get it. I mean, I call these guys old souls. They really get it. They understand what makes this thing work, and we're so privileged to have them here. We had Vincent in Dallas a couple of weeks ago. He's coming back to MannaQuest. We got to give him some time to go build his business to Platinum as well. But they've been so generous in coming in and sharing with us things that have been working for them in South Africa. And for me, that's also my excitement for the future, is the fact that we have locked into something that's truly working, that's been working for the last 2.5 years. This is not a flash in the pan. This is not an accident. It's not a coincidence. It's not, they just didn't get lucky. You heard, they all went through the dream, struggle, victory stages. But it's good that they've achieved that level of victory over the last 2.5 years, and it continues, because I can tell you, their last BP was the best BP of the last 7 years, but the next BP is actually going to be bigger than the last BP. So they just keep on going. They keep on trucking. And you will understand as we go through this week that there's a reason for that, because success leaves clues. So the M5M China run is one of the 3 things that we really are focusing on this year. I call it triple threat. We had the M5M China run in terms of how we're linking that, not just the PR aspect of it, but how we're linking it to a 100-day challenge, which I believe is going to revolutionize everybody's business. And that's something we're going to talk about tomorrow. But we're not going to send you out of here without having the tools and a plan to succeed. I've been accused a few times of being too hypey, and I deserved it. But I think, we got to separate hype from true motivation. And that means that, people ought to be motivated because they have confidence that the things they have in their hands work, and that others have made it work, and that we're giving it all to you. There's no secret here, right? You're going to walk away from here tomorrow, and you will have the secret in your hand. And then you're going to realize the real secret is who? You, me, okay? You are the secret. You're sitting on a secret right now, okay? So between that, the M5M run and what is going to show up as an action plan, the other thing is youth global rollout. Folks, we're just scratching the surface of what this product is going to do for us. I know you guys have done a good job with it, but it's going to be amazing as we keep going down. We're hearing things about this product that is way beyond just a wrinkle cream. You guys get that? And some of it is actually coming from this market. You guys have been really good at documenting some of the things happening. I mean, from stretch mark to acne to scars. And I'm not making any, these are not claims. They're just stories that you have. But I like them. I like your stories. And then the last piece of the triple threat is the three-point plan. I believe that is going to be one of the things that I am absolutely convinced. And why am I convinced? Because after 35 years in this industry, right, in 65 different countries, do you think you start seeing some trends, some things that really are similar and wherever you go in the world? What makes some people succeed under the same conditions and fail under the same conditions, same products, same everything, and yet some achieve greatness and some others make a lot of excuses. So we're going to have to choose how to deal with that by the time we leave here. But I think it's good to know that the three-point plan really is that catalyst that we needed so that we can have the confidence that we need to move forward. Now, let's kind of look at where we are. I mean, before we look into the future, let's look at where we are. It's always good to kind of be able to position yourself. Now, I know you've probably seen this before from Dr. Rob Sinnott, which, by the way, Rob Sinnott, Mark Nichols, Stan Frederick, the Senior Executive Office, sends their regards. I just got a note from Dr. Rob. He wished he was here, actually. He loves this environment. He spent some time in South Africa. He saw what was going on there, and he's really excited that some of it is being transplanted here and in the U.S. and North America and around the world, actually. And so all of us, we've kind of gone back and we look at what's going on in our cycles of a business. Because every business goes through these, what we call S curves. Show me a company, a big company, that's been around for a while that didn't go through these ebbs and flows. It doesn't exist, right? So it's just, you got to know where you are at and then have the proper attitude in those situations because, frankly, people will win in whatever cycle of the business that, we are in, right? There's people who went presidential when the business was kind of in the ebb, right? And there's people who will make excuses even when we're growing like crazy. But there is a fact. I mean, we've gone over the last 20 years from the original days to the $400 million growth that we had up to about 2007, and then we took a little dip. And those are the times where you really, I love the way Vincent talks about it, because adversity usually is where you find your character. So I think we found character, lots of character, right? We found lots of character. But you know what? We stuck through it. Those of you who are here, you stuck through a lot of that, and I'm really thankful for that. I appreciate that. But I want you to know that because of that, because the adversity is a seed to promotion. Adversity is a seed to promotion. So I know what's happening, right? I know that as we were going through this adversity, that we were getting ready for our next curve. And that next curve is happening right now as we speak. I'm really happy to tell you, even though it's probably a little in advance, and I'm not going to give you the exact numbers, but BP6 was the best BP we have had in 7 years. I mean, we are talking an amazing growth spurt. I mean, this year has been an incredible year so far, but we believe that actually as we go into the third and fourth quarter, we're going to see an acceleration of that. And it's not, it's not a promise because we don't know the future. I'm just telling you, based on the things we see, you can just feel, it's like in this room, I can feel that momentum building up. I've been here about 3 or 4 times the last 7 years. And I know when it didn't feel like it, and I can tell you how it feels right now. It feels like we're about to go for our next biggest growth spurt we've ever had in the history of Australasia, right? So now, how do you know, and this is again, this is from Dr. Sinnott, how do you know when you are, when the signs of an upward potential? Well, number one, the company is undervalued or underestimated. We love being underestimated because they can't see us coming, right? We're not in the limelight. And so when we happen, it's like, surprise, okay? 2, we're part of a growing and innovative sectors of business. We are oriented toward large consumer markets. We're willing to invest and reinvest in new business, and our revenue is growing. That's when you know that you are in a upward potential. All right, so let's look at that. Right before I got here, this is from Seeking Alpha, which is a website that actually tracks companies and stocks. These guys have not always been nice to us, I'll be honest with you, over the last 7 years. But it says here, Mannatech, tremendously undervalued and poised for substantial appreciation. This is just July 15. Okay, why? Because we returned to profitability, because, well, there's other terms that are pretty much stuff I don't even understand. I just sell stuff. I don't understand all that stock stuff. But at least, obviously, an expert believes that those signs are pointing to what? Growth. So it's nice when it's not us getting on stage telling you this stuff, is when it's being validated by people from the outside. As of a couple of days ago. Now, I have to tell you, the Dallas Morning News has not always been our friends. But they just announced that we were top public company in Texas. Oh, we're going to have a bunch of these plaques all over, This is good, guys. This means that, for the people who in the past have kind of looked at us with a dim view, all of a sudden they're realizing, hey, these guys are putting, rungs on a board. We're hitting enough, I'm not going to go back to baseball again, but base hits. It's not that we've done something spectacular, but we just keep doing the small things, just like right here. It's those small things that eventually, it's that slight edge that if you maintain it long enough, and that's true about a company, it's true about your business, it's those things you do on a daily basis. How you approach excellence in your life, in your business on a daily basis, right? That eventually, over time, all of a sudden, you are way off course from the average regular people and the average regular company. So for us, it's a big deal. All right, so you need to be part of a growing and innovative sectors. Look, we have at least 4 things I could identify very quickly. The wellness industry, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in this presentation. You've heard of the $1 trillion industry and so on, but there is some things that point to the fact that wellness is about to explode even more than we think it has exploded so far. The other thing is the anti-aging market, probably for the same reason, for the same demographic reason, which is the growing baby boomer, the aging baby boomer population. That demographic is changing what happens in business. They change every trend. They started changing the trends from when it started in the 60s with baby food and Pampers to the minivan, to the housing boom, to the housing crash. You can tie everything to that group of people and what they do. And guess what they want to do right now? They want to look good. They want to feel good. And you know what? They want to take care of their health. And the way healthcare is today globally, they have to actually go to alternative health solutions because they also realize that the stuff that we've been programmed to believe is not so true anymore about the allopathic and pharmaceutical side of the healthcare equation. Then we're going to talk about one that I'm really very biased about. It's the direct sales industry. I love it. I love listening to Vincent and Gary. I love hearing their pride of being part of this industry because it is worth being proud of. And I'm going to go through some things. I just don't want to give you just get excited about it. I want to give you some facts that will help you with that. And then social entrepreneurship. I believe that we were part of the pioneering group on something that I believe is a big wave about to happen. And so let's talk about these things. I'm not going to talk so much about the wellness industry, although I'll hit on it in a few minutes, but we're all aware that that's a growing segment. But I wanted to touch on the anti-aging market. Folks, this is one of the fastest growing segments of any market today. Okay? And especially in the direct sales industry, according to the World Federation of Direct Sales, cosmetic and personal care is 35% of the $167 billion industry that we are globally as a direct sale industry. But 35% of it is cosmetic and personal care. Guess what? There's a lot of room in there for us to do some real damage when you have the technology that we have, okay? And there's a lot of reason why it's growing, but the biggest part of it is the baby boomer, the aging baby boomer demographics that is driving those sales because we want to look young, we want to feel well, we want to look good, and all those things are market factors that are going to help us, over the next 10 years. But, right now it's growing about 8% annually between 2012, 2016. But, that's pretty healthy when you're talking about a $100 billion industry. Let's talk about the direct sales industry. This is the one that I really get a little bit excited, a little bit emotional about. And the reason I do is because I just know that 35 years ago, when I was 20 years old and I was invited to a Tuesday night meeting as a person who had just immigrated to the United States and who had basically just finished a 2-year engineering degree, this industry took me from that to being at the top 0.1% of income earners in America. So I am proud of this industry because it's done me good. But I know what? Guess what? If it's done me good, that means it can do good for a lot of other people. Okay? This is an industry that creates millionaires. There's no question about it. But I wanted to go to something that has been really interesting. One, because for me, it was a little aggravating. It was aggravating being at the direct sales convention and realizing that 18 companies in our space had grown over $100 million in 1 year. Folks, $100 million company. Most companies don't even get to $100 million, but think about it. Some companies, to grow $100 million in 1 year, is that pretty solid? 18 companies in our space grew $100 million last year. One of them, the top, grew $977 million in 1 year. That's $1 billion in 1 year. And guess what? They sell cosmetics. They're known for cosmetics. Number 2 grew $700 million. Number 3 grew $500 million. Number 4 grew $400 million. $270 million, $256 million, all the way to 18 companies grew $100 million or more. That was frustrating because I know what we got, right? I mean, I'm just not just saying we have the best because I'm supposed to say we have the best. Every one of us in our lives, because we take these products and because we know what effect it has, we know we have the best. So then I went, then you want to look at then what are some of the things If you want to be one of those, how many of you think we should be in that club, by the way? Are you with me? I have a new goal. I have a new dream. My dream is we're going to be in that $100 million a year growth club. Some of you are excited about that. 3 of you. Okay. I said 100 million growth club. I know it's before lunch. It's tough. 5 things that is very common about these companies in the $100 million club. Number 1, tremendous focus on their brand and their product. Now, as I go through these things, I want you to check off whether you think or not you believe we're one of those, if we fit in that description, okay? Number 2, use tools for their workforce. Now, I'll tell you right now, I don't think we can check off that box yet. But guess what? After this weekend, we will check off that box. Does that make sense? Why am I excited? Because I know we're going right into those things that are the clues for those companies who are successful in our industry. That it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. When you do the right things, when you do the things that work, it works. Number 3, invest in customer acquisition. We actually do a good job with that. It's called the power bonus. We just need to use it better. It's called member discounts and that type of thing. So we're kind of there, but we're 90% customers, so I have to believe we do a good job creating customers. Yes? Probably better than most other companies. Because most other companies, people stop buying the product the minute they stop building the business. In our company, people have been taking Ambertos for 20 years, and they don't have to make a penny, but they don't take my Ambertos away. I mean, they get pretty vicious if they just get a whiff that you're trying to do something to Ambertos. Guys, we got the most loyal customers in the universe. 90% of the people that are in Mannatech right now don't get a check, but they consume those products every single month, every single BP. Number 4, emphasize these companies, $100 million club companies, emphasize personal development in their culture. Emphasize personal development in their culture. If you just look south, towards South Africa, what have you heard from Gary and from Vincent? What's the focus? They realize they are in the people business, right? They go out and they look for, they look, they find lookers and volunteers and they turn them into leaders. Folks, your product is, hello? Your product is people. Folks, it doesn't take anything away, and I'm the company, and my product is Ambertos. Okay, clear, right? And I want to move a lot of Ambertos. But Ambertos don't have little legs and little arms and little mouth. They're not gonna go there by themselves, right? Somebody has to take this stuff into the homes, right? And who's that? It's an army of people, well-trained, well-motivated people who have a dream and who have this sense of mission, and they're going to take it out there. I believe Ambertos should be in every home. Nutriveris should be in every home. I think youth should be in every woman's and man. Yes, I use it too. If you wondered, Number 5, they focus on developing strong leaders. Folks, I didn't invent this to justify the things we're talking about this week. This is coming straight out of the articles. You can go to Direct Selling News and you can find it. And this is what they found to be common about those companies that really do well in our industry. I want to do well. We sat there, Robson and myself and other people, and watched these people be celebrated. We were as happy for them as we could be. But deep inside, there was this fire that was starting to burn. Go, you know what? No way. We're going to have to be in that club, and that's it, period, okay? So let me kind of walk you through some of the things that I believe are going to be really critical for us to understand as we go down this journey. The world economy is shifting. I don't know if it's arrived here in Australia yet. I know 3 years ago when I was here in Australia, everything was good. I mean, there was a big boom in mining, and China was buying up a lot of stuff, and everybody was happy. And house prices were going up, and salaries going up, everything. I don't think that's the case today. Are you in agreement? I mean, Rod just been feeding me something, But, I mean, there is a sense that things are slowing down. Folks, this is a global issue, okay? And everyone here, you're going to have to make a decision whether or not you're going to participate in this busting economy that is about to hit us. You can choose to participate in it, or you can choose to not participate in it. Because you know what? There's a lot of good news in here. I'm going to be a little negative to start, but I'm going to be really positive to end. Because we can't be like ostriches with our heads in the sand and not realize there's something going on around us. Okay, hello? And this is the attitude you got to go into a home, into a kitchen table, into a Starbucks, into wherever. When you're sitting across from somebody, don't believe for a minute they got something better than you. They're all in the same morass that we are in, and they just act like they're not. Does that make sense? Am I being too excited? Can I slow down a little bit? It's the guys with the big watch. They get a little too excited. It's an inside joke. Okay. Guys, this is real. And I'll tell you why this is real. I'm going to put all the dots together before this is over. Okay? Half of all jobs will disappear by 2030. The world of work is going to turn upside down as 2 billion jobs, half of all employment on the planet today, will be gone by 2030. Now, some of you say, he's crazy. Guys, why? I mean, you don't have to go too far. In Spain right now, unemployment is about 25%. But I'll tell you what's even worse. Young people unemployment is 50%. And don't think that we're isolated from all that. It's a global wave. It's going to hit all of us before long. And there's a reason for that. And there's a very scientific reason for that. Robots will become your co-workers and competitors. Now, not the kind in South Africa. I just want you guys to understand, all right? Their robot in South Africa just knows how to do green, red, yellow, okay? These are the robots that can do a lot of other things. If you think of a robot as something out of an old science fiction film, time to consider your views. Between 2011 and 2012, unemployment of robot was up 40% worldwide. Robots are having a good time. We ought to recruit some robots. They got the money to spend, but we don't. I don't know if we have the product for them. Okay. Contract workers are filling new jobs in shifting economy. Folks, the days of the industrial revolution, where everybody, they had all these thousands of people in the room, and you started, like Vincent was saying, the 40-40-40 plan, right? You got in, you worked for 40 hours for 40 years, so you could retire on 40% of what you made. Those days are gone. And there was not such a good days anyways. But the days of a 40-year employment is gone. Now the companies are looking for contract workers. Every one of us are going in business for ourselves. They're going to hire us for our skills and pay us for our accomplishment. They're going to pay us on results. Nobody wants people just sitting there doing nothing all day, checking in, checking out for the next 20 years. Nobody's doing that anymore. Companies are now outsourcing. They're sending their work somewhere else. Everybody's looking for the cheapest labor somewhere. And guys, that doesn't bode well for us in this country and for us in North America. Some of you are starting to really worry that Where is he going with all this? These are just realities, guys. But I just want you guys to understand there's a reason for it. There's a time where this is going to change. And between now and then, you're going to have to choose how you participate in all this. Because one of the things I can tell you, the 1% of the people who own 50% of all worldwide assets, they do things a little different than the rest of us. We just got to learn what they do. And by the way, just because you are even here in this room right now, I just want to say congratulations because you're already doing it. Because the first thing you got to do is you got to start thinking out of the box. See, yes? I was going to see or no. Yes. You got to start thinking out of the box. That's the moment everything happens. I love Karen Dennis. And just the last few months have been pretty impactful for you, right? And I love when you said, you know what? I will change. Don't tell me that people don't change. I am deciding to change. I am not going to keep my head in the sand because I know, if I continue to do the same things I've been doing, I'm going to get the same results I've been having, and I don't like those results, so I'm going to do something different so I can create a new reality for my life. As a company, we got to look at that. As an individual, you have to look at that. These things are not an accident. Let me take you to something this has been very impactful for me. Understanding this was very impactful for me as well. Harry Dent is an economist. He's an economist who, years ago, I met him. Years ago, I worked with him. That's when when the internet was just coming into its own, and he made some pretty amazing predictions about what was going to happen. And every prediction he made pretty much happened. And I didn't understand how he was so smart, and he had a kind of a crystal ball or something, but he had his hand on something that was pretty a measure, an economic measure that is critical to forecast what's going to happen in the future. The weakest economy of our lifetime is in the next decade. 2014 to 2023, these will be the worst of our lifetime. If you choose to participate in that. But he says this bodes well for entrepreneurs because health, wellness, and weight loss will be the strongest sector of the economy. Why this is the time for people to start their own businesses and create multiple streams of income. You know who's going to be roadkill on the information highway? It's those guys who choose to stay an employee for the rest of their lives. I'm sorry. Say, I'm sorry about these people. That's why you need to go talk to them. You need to go talk to them when? Now. And you need to put in front of them facts that will kind of help them understand that they have a choice in this matter. They can do something about it. Okay? When I met this gentleman a few months ago, the first part of his presentation was downright depressing. But boy, the second half was very exciting. Actually, I was just listening again to this talk today. It's called Your Boom Ahead. Folks, there is going to be, within this economic collapse, there is going to be a boom for those of you who decide to choose a different path. All right. Now, this is the key. If you look at this, what you see there is the birth rate. The population size, this is in the U.S. over time. So you see the baby boomers, that was the biggest wave we ever had. Then you have the Gen Xers. And then later on, we have the echo boomers, which is going to be the next wave. Now, by the way, if you took this chart from the U.S. and you put it over the world, it's pretty much the same. Right? The baby boomers were just not a U.S. thing. It was a world thing. Right? So somehow we all follow the same trends in general. Now, when you understand that, you realize, okay, there is a gap between the top of the baby boomer to the top of the echo. That gap is what we're talking about there. That's the kind of gap that when you push it out 46 years later is when it has an impact. Let me show you why. Because 46 is a very important number. 46-year-olds are at their peak spending times. See, one of the things that these people like him do is they have tracked pretty much, they know exactly how you and I spend money. In our 20s, we enter the workforce. In our 26, on average, at 26, we get married. At 28, we have a first baby, on average. At 31, we buy the first home. At 33, we spend most money on childcare and schooling and so on. 37 to 42, we upgrade our home. We go to a bigger home because the kids get bigger. At age 46 is when we spend the most. So if I look at the birth rate today, if I go 46 years down the road, that is going to be a boom, economic boom. And then if I take a birth rate decline, I go 46 years, guess what happens? It's a bust. People think that, and the government will try to fix it with debt, right? They try to, do the whole, economic stimulus and all that stuff because they're trying to fill that gap. And guess what? It doesn't work. And right now, they've got so much debt. I don't know about you guys here, but in the U.S., we got so much debt. We're so under the water with everything, Social Security and Medicare and every, pension plan, all that time, that I cringe in thinking about what's about to happen to those unsuspecting people who just bought into that, get a good education, get a good job, kiss the right you-know-what, play with the right, do all the right things, and eventually, 65, you get to retire, and life gets to be wonderful. Well, that American dream is now an American nightmare. We call it the Walmart syndrome. It's the people who, after they retire, stand there and go, welcome to Walmart. And it's pretty, it's heart-wrenching to realize that people who gave it all for that period of time, all of a sudden don't have something to stand on. Folks, it's our job to make sure that we get to as many people as we can to make sure they understand that there's a reality that they may not perceive, but it's real. And that's why where we're sitting at right now is the best time of our lives. As a company, we couldn't be in a better markets than wellness, right? Anti-aging, right? That's perfect. And more than that, we are in the business of opportunities. Hello? Yeah. You do not have to participate in the next recession or whatever that is, depression. You know the difference between recession and depression? It's a recession if your neighbor loses his job. It's a depression if you lose your job. Okay? Either way, it's not a good thing. Okay? By the way, by age 54, 58, by the age 68 is when baby boomers spend the most money on health insurance, health care, and all the things that we just talked about. Folks, there's a reason why this is happening. Now, let me tell you the other side of this. On the one side, we have the baby boomers and what we're going to bring to them and add value to their lives, both in health care and anti-aging and an opportunity. But there's another group of people, the millennials. These guys have it tough. they have it tough. These are the kids who are just graduating from from college. This is my son, my daughter. They have a $100,000 loan, $80,000 loan, and they can't get a job that pays them better than $35,000 a year. You watch the space because there's going to be an absolute meltdown of school loans in America. Because all these kids that racked up all these costs now can't pay for it. So the millennials have understood now, unlike previous generation, millennials climbing the corporate ladder is not their goal. 60% of them are turning their back on traditional career path and instead considering themselves entrepreneurs. And those who still have a regular job, 60% of them say that they will leave within the next 2 years. Good news. They've watched their parents go down this path, and they don't want to do the same thing. And that makes sense. What does that mean for our business? What does that mean for Mannatech young generation? MYG. What does that mean for MYG? Awesome. Come on, say it louder. Awesome. This is our time, folks. These people are coming. They're looking They're looking for something real. They're looking for something with purpose. They're looking for something with significance. And we have it. Our products, our technologies are real. Our mission, our purpose, our significance, it's real. It's not just a marketing campaign. Okay? And we're giving them the right market space to go out and do something. We're giving them the right technology, the social media technology, and all those things. All those things are now going to be incredible tools for them to be able to have this global reach. You know, think about Gary. Small town to big town, you know, rugby star, presidential, international motivator. Right? Guys, how many of our young people wouldn't want that? We just have to be in a position, us the older ones, to create an environment that attracts them, that keeps them, that educates them, motivates them, inspires them, so they can go out and do something, they can achieve greatness in their lifetime. It's our job. That's what we do. That's what I do. That's what you get paid to do. I mean, it's not fun. Would you rather do something else? Guys, I mean, I'm serious. This is pretty cool. Okay? They want freedom. You heard Vincent say, when you're talking to them, talk to them about what? Freedom. They want unlimited income, and they want to control the work they do. Do we have it to offer to them? And guess what? If you're going to become an entrepreneur, actually we're proposing to them what? Social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneurship is the art of simultaneously pursuing a financial and social return on investment. Double, what they call the double bottom line. Folks, this is ripe. This is the real stuff. All we have to do is get out there, really, in some ways, and get in front of enough people and start telling the whole story. Guys, I understand our product story is amazing. I mean, truly amazing. But we're going to have to learn, right, how to tell both stories. Like you guys did yesterday, right? James, I heard you did an awesome business testimonial. We have to be willing to make business testimonials at the same time as we do product testimonials. Those two things together, wow, it's like TNT in a match. Okay? So we know that social entrepreneur is a big deal. I'm going to go to that really quickly. I just want you to know that it is a growing field. It's a growing thing in business schools and so on. Okay? So let's go to number 3, oriented towards large consumer market. Folks, malnutrition is the world's biggest problem. You know, my pastor always said, you know, that we are rewarded in proportion to the problems we solve. Right? Solve small problems, get rewarded small rewards, right? Solve big problems, big reward. So if we really want to be rewarded, if we want to be in that $1 million club, if we want to be that $100,000 a month income earner, then we need to look at it and go, what is the problem I'm solving? And how can I solve it for enough people? So that's why for me, malnutrition is the biggest problem there is. And you know what? It is a problem with a lot of, you know, with impact. It's not impacting just those children in Mexico. It's impacting children around the world. Does that give you a reason to go out there and talk about what we have? Just knowing that our next generation is being impacted more than any other generations before? All right? Food is not going to get any better. True or not? And certainly, the way they chose to solve that problem is not the solution, right? Are you in agreement with me on all this? Because I know we've been through this before. That's why I'm going fast through this, but I want you to understand it's part of the equation. That's what puts us in a position where we're going to grow. Okay, so we need innovative solutions. We have them. Things that are game changers, things that are affordable, things that really are real. They're patented. They have, you know, validation behind it. When I look at these companies that have grown 100 million, it makes me sick to my stomach. Makes me sick to my stomach because I know they're just selling stuff. Right? We deserve to be in that club. Yes? Because we got the right stuff. Folks, we're just scratching the surface on glyconutrients. The world doesn't even know what it is. But they're getting to find out. When L'Oreal started talking about glyconutrients for glycobiology for skincare, I knew we were onto something. Because I remember when I first saw that video, I wasn't even thinking about Mannatech in skincare. I'm thinking, if they think that's a youth key to the cell, and it's not just the skin cells, it's my liver cells, my brain cells, it's all my cells. Right? So they're talking about putting it on your skin. I'm talking put it inside. And then it takes care of everything. Right? Folks, we haven't touched the surface on this thing. Now I want you to say with me, powered by Ambratos. Come on, say it like you mean it. Powered by Ambratos. That's the new slogan. It's not just glyconutrients, because Ambratos within glyconutrients, we want that to be the Kleenex of all tissues. We want people, when they find out about glycobiology, they think Ambratos. Does that make sense? So that's why M5M China Run is powered by Ambratos. Because after 8 years of running around and doing all these crazy things and 70 marathons in 70 days and everything else, for the man to come back and go, my secret weapon is Ambratos. Guys, you know what that means. I get goosebumps thinking about it. Because this is not about who's sick and what disease we're going to cure. This is about the guy who runs a marathon a day for 100 days. Hello? You think this thing might help you kind of get up the stairs faster? Right? Think better? Husbands, you won't need your wife to find keys anymore because you can, overdose on Ambratos or something, right? This is big. This is a blue ocean market. We haven't even touched, we're not even in the tip of the iceberg yet on that. So, 5 signs of upward potential. Did I convince you that we're about to grow? I don't see time, so does that mean I got unlimited time? I don't know. What's working best here? Your hunger or the information? Okay. All right, so number 4, willing to reinvest in new businesses. Folks, Mannatech, a year and a half ago, we stopped even paying, shareholder equity. We stopped paying dividends. Why? We were taking all the money we had and we were putting it where? Back into the business. But I tell you what was even cooler than that. Because see, when I invest in my future, if you guys understand the law of seed and harvest, do you realize that even when Mannatech was losing money, we were still investing in the lives of those children? That's the real investment. That's an investment with amazing returns. See, some people invest from their last fruit. We invest from our first fruit. When we sell a product, a child is fed. Now, when we make money, then we decide we're going to feed a child. Guys, you see the difference? We give from the first fruit, and that's the way it should be, not from what's left. And because of that, I think we're creating the kind of harvest that is not even, that's in the unseen, and that's the best harvest you can have. Number 5, revenue growth. What I just told you. Our first quarter was profitable. Our second quarter is amazing. And third and fourth quarter, we're just going to blow through this thing. 2014 is going to be our best year in 7 years. And I'm not making, it's not a prediction, guys. Don't buy stocks based on that. It's just because I came to Australia and I got really excited about what you guys are doing here, okay? So, let me go through something real quick here that I think is key. Because, see, when we start thinking about, because, see, at the end of the day, nothing happens until you get in front of another new pair of eyeballs. The only time this thing works is when we get in front of a new pair of eyeballs. If you're looking at the same eyeballs all the time, you're not growing. New pairs of eyeballs. So when you get in front of a new pair of eyeballs, you got to be thinking in the back of your mind, what is the value I will bring to the life of this person that will then connect us together in this wonderful journey? I hope you don't look in that eyeball and go, a new PV machine. Does that make sense? When we start thinking about how we bring value in the lives of the people, then we can expect the rewards that come from it. Does that make sense? Because if I figure out how to solve your problem, I know by solving your problem, guess what happens to me? Huh? Solves my problem. And then solves the children's problem at the same time. It's a triple benefit. So as you think about it, then you got to think about, well, what do people need? What is it that we offer? How do we fill others' needs? Because, when my mentor in this industry had this equation. I want you to write down this equation. Because a lot of you came to this meeting going, motivate me. I can see you. Even though the light's on my face, I can see you there. Okay, let's see if he's going to motivate me. Okay, motive and action. You got to have a why and then put action behind that why, but let's think about there's an equation. Motivation equals needs. Oh, you have it on video. That's why you're not writing that. Okay. Needs times beliefs. Motivation equals needs times belief. What does that mean? It means that in order for someone to be motivated, their need needs to be high, right? Higher needs mean higher motivation, right? Greater belief equals more motivation. So what we do all the time, our whole life in this industry is discovering people's needs, right? And having some beliefs. And those beliefs have to be on the industry. So what do you think I tried to do this morning? Did I try to elevate your belief in the industry? Yes. Okay, it doesn't sound like I was very successful, but I tried. I tried. Then the second belief is in Mannatech. Do we believe in Mannatech? Yes. Third belief is the belief in the team. Yes. The team. See, that's why when you listen to Vincent and you listen to Gary and they talk about unity, submission, system, that's called a team. Believing that it's not just because of what I know and what I do that I'm going to succeed. It's because I am in an environment that fosters growth because the team is working in my behalf. I don't have to go at this alone. I have a team, my team. And the last belief is the belief in you, which is a matter of confidence and competence, knowledge and inspiration, which is all the things that you're going to leave tomorrow with all those things. We're not just going to pump you up and send you out. We're going to send you with the right tools. We're going to send you with the right plan. We're going to send you with a 100-day plan. We're going to leave here with a 100-day plan. Because in those 100 days, we're going to create the kind of habits, the kinds of belief that will support us as we move on to our dreams. That make sense? So when you think about what you do when you get in front of people, think in terms of the needs that people have. There's a need for survival. Folks, survival is not what we're looking for. It's what we contribute to. We contribute to the survival of the kids. Okay, so we're involved in survival, but most people you're going to meet, they already met that need. So the next need is what? Their wants and their desires. And one of those things is, I'll tell you what, at the 2014 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, when they looked at the top 10 global risk, number 5, I believe it was number 5, was access to good nutrition. They consider that to be one of the top 10 risks in the world. So folks, what do we provide to people? The ability to access good nutrition. It's one of those wants. It's one of the things that people need and desire. At least that's the ones we can fulfill. Okay, the need for good nutrition, the need for looking good, and the need for living with full-on energy and so on. Those are the things we fulfill, okay? But then we also offer a sense of family. People want to belong. So sometimes the people you're going to talk to, it's not just about the business opportunity, but if you bring them into an environment that fosters that kind of unity and that kind of family feeling where they belong to a group of people that embraces them, regardless of who they are, regardless of their color, their age, or, or their religious belief, but they are embraced, that we have created as leaders an environment. Guess what? You will attract people just for that. People want to belong. And I believe the Mannatech family is an incredible family to belong to. Yes or no? Yes. Yes or yes? Yes. Okay? And the last one is people are looking for esteem. People want to be recognized. People want to be celebrated. And folks, that's what we do. Last night, that's what it was. We did something really cool at Manifest. We had all the new platinums come in a helicopter, and they landed on a baseball field. How many of you, that image of coming down in a helicopter and having a whole stadium of people, wanting to know who is on that helicopter, all right? That is filling the need for esteem. Understand, people want to be loved, appreciated, recognized, because they don't get that normally. And we do that. That's how it felt when you guys got recognized for your $1 million. Does that feel good? It was just not the $1 million. It's that you knew you had done something significant. And because of you, a lot of people in this room are better off. A lot of children are better off. Right? How about this? Right? How did it feel when you guys got recognized and walked down the aisle and the new $1 million club members? Give them a big hand, by the way. That's a big accomplishment. That's a big, 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 big accomplishment. Folks, we offer this platform where we can fulfill that need of being recognized, knowing that you are somebody special. And the last one is that ultimate need to be fulfilled, to know that what you do really, truly changes the world. Folks, at Manifest, we actually crossed the 50 million servings to children. And that's huge. Folks, not too many businesses, not too many other things you can do with your life gives you that sense of fulfillment. At the very top of this company, our mission is to fight global malnutrition by nourishing the world with real food technology, and you know the rest. And we reward those who champion our cause. We're going to link 5 million consumers to 5 million children in need. That's it, period. It's a done deal. And you guys, I know you're going to help us. So it started as a mission. It's become more than a mission. It's become an identity. And you know what? The world already is recognizing some of these things and realize that that's what it takes to do something great in your life. And I'm running out of time. So the purpose of life is leading a life of purpose. And folks, we offer a life of purpose. When you get in front of those new eyeballs, just know that that's what you do. Don't wait even one more day to make the best decision in your life. You can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. Let's make 2014 the tipping point for your life, for your business, and for Mannatech. Thank you very much, guys.
Please give it up for our president of Mannatech, Mr. Al Bala. Woo!